Hi Gemini, this is your April 2020 monthly tarot forecast. So this is for Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, and Gemini Rising signs. I hope you're enjoying your bi-weeklies in addition to your extended monthlies. So this is going to be pretty lengthy. We're going to use 2 layers of tarot on a Celtic cross spread for you, and then we'll get 4 oracle cards to polish off your reading today. So Gemini, what do you need to know for April 2020? Messages for Gemini. Gemini, let me just get my mic situated. All right, folks. Messages for Gemini for April 2020. What does Gemini need to know? Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising signs. Messages for Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising. Gemini Sun, Moon, Rising, April 2020. All right, folks, so let's get out your first layer. Just because I can't help myself, I'll give you a little bit of feedback about what I'm seeing with the first layer, and then we'll get our second layer out. So there is a realization here. There's a realization that communication is extremely important. There is a recognition as well. We just have to cope with something. We have to face something here that looks like the direction of the reading. Let's get into it here. But you have everything you need to do that. You have a lot of support. Here's our second 9. Something could feel like it's a little bit taxing right now, like it's a little bit heavy or overwhelming, just by virtue of those 2 9s. Let's see what else we have here. Yep, here's that suspension, something hanging in the balance. Could just be a matter of travel, Gemini, or lack of information that you need at this time. A really nice outcome, though, for you. Let's look at the bottom of the deck. We have 2 cards indicating the home here, Cancer ruled Chariot technically, and then the 4 of Wands. Bottom of the deck energy. So this is how this is going to affect, the bottom of the deck energy is always what's underlying here, what's sort of how this reading is going to play out essentially. So it will affect the home and family life. Let's get our second layer out before we get super in depth here. I don't think 2 9s are really of any concern in the first layer. We'll see what comes out in the other layer here. I just want to fix that. Yeah, the Hanged Man actually came out in today's daily reading on Instagram as well. So there could be some holdups. There could be definitely perspective is necessary at this time, guys. Really need a lot of perspective. Things are changing really quickly, in terms of the news and daily events. I'm currently reading for you guys for the month of April in mid-March. I try to get these done early so they're out to you on time. So by the time you look at this, hopefully this will make more sense. And also, I encourage anyone who is watching their signs to, cross-watch. Look at your rising and moon signs as well for additional information, just in case this doesn't resonate. It really should, though. This should really make a lot of sense to any Gemini watching in a general manner, right? These are general readings. All right, let's qualify this spread for you guys. By April 2020. I promise I'm going to get a more reasonably sized deck. Look at that, the World. Just because I want to use a little bit of a bigger deck here. Here's another home and family card. Definitely your family and the way that you interact with the world. Probably you could even be worried about that at this time. Wow. I think community is going to be extremely important for everybody at this time. Building community, strengthening community. We do have a little bit of, a feeling of sort of maybe defeat or overexposure to information, maybe something that makes us feel like we don't have what it takes, but you do. We're going to try to get out of our heads here, guys. 4 of Wands qualified by the 10 of Swords. As I pointed out right at the beginning, we're sort of inundated with swords here, you know, creating the influence and the direction or situation of what's going on for your reading for you today. So, you know, your home is definitely going to be affected by the way that you're thinking and feeling about things. I'm going to ask you guys to step up a little and get out of your heads. Try to look at the big picture here. We're going to try to work together in groups or communities. So, and I know you can do it. You might even be the ones leading the way. So bottom of the deck energy, right? 4 of Wands. Here's our 10 of Swords. This is, you know, a sense of there's an overkill, obviously, right? But it's an overkill of information, about worry, about maybe even accepting something. Something in the home is changing. This could be the homeland, if this is about the country for you. This could be about your home in particular, just your home and family. Whether you work from home, this could be how you're working. Something happened and now you're working at home, or vice versa. So let's get into the first position. So these guys are technically together and these guys are, right? So the world is technically qualifying the 5 of Swords, right? And this is the influence on you or the direction of the reading. This is what you may be manifesting or experiencing at the time of this viewing. I would suggest that, you know, in terms of timeline, this first area here is the first 2 weeks of the month, and I would say this area here is the last 2 weeks. So certainly by the beginning of the month, there is a sensation of, or a feeling, or sort of an energy of type of defeat. There is kind of a winner and a loser feeling here. There could be definitely some conflict, but it is on the world stage. It's a big situation. This is something that is probably out of your individual hands. We have some major factors here. There are angels involved, whether your own personal angels. There are 2 symbols of the infinity here. You know, with the symbol inside, there's a doorway that's open. There's something that's opening here to step up to something. So I'm going to suggest here, guys, we're going to move away from worry. We're going to move away from concern, misinformation, underinformation, excess information, and we're going to move into a state of doing, right? We're going to get out of the head and we're going to get into a place of practicality, and this is how to defeat this state of this is too much, or something might feel heavy. This could just be keeping you up at night, all right? So 9 of Swords qualified by the 10 of Pentacles. Here we're looking really at another home card, right? This is home, family. This is generations. This could be grandparents, grandchildren, home. This is the past. This is, you know, our world family. So, you know, this is pretty big picture situation for us, guys. It really is. I'm not Gemini, but I'm feeling this for you. And then a sense of suspension here around perhaps the work world. So, you know, try to put some worry to rest here, guys, and get practical about your home life. It's a really beautiful time to step up to the plate and help ease other people's minds. And to take some control and maybe even responsibility over helping in a very practical way family members of your own, or certainly members of your community who could need help, you know, our community family at this time. And I know you can do it, and it's actually going to help solve any, you know, sort of mental or thought process at this time. If we become engaged practically in a real way, we can start and use whatever fear or doubt or despair we have through a realization. This is not your imagination. And we're going to use that for the practical good of everyone, because we have the Magician here, guys. This is your desired aim, okay? This is incredibly achievable. This crowns you in a very real, practical, logical, sensible way, right? We're going to cut away the garbage and we're going to do something practical. You have things at your disposal, or you have the ability to attain practical outcomes and relief systems at your disposal. You can do this in a practical way. You could be in touch with, or you could personally be someone who is in a position of legal, medical, political, some type of position of power here. Certainly there is, maybe if you aren't and you're waiting for some advice or feedback from a person or some type of, say, agency involved with, say, communal advice, humanity at large. We know that the kings are fixed energy. Of course, this is Aquarius, 11th house. So we're looking at huge groups of people, humanity at large. And there is something to be done here. I would just, the only caveat when I'm looking at these two in terms of the desired aim here is to make sure this is your energy and not actually the energy of the people in the power. Because if the people in the power hold resources or withhold resources or information or say solutions to community distress at this time, this is going to create a problem. I don't see the public reacting that way. I see the public really coming together. And again, if it's strictly in your home, if this is strictly in your community, or if this is on the world stage for you, however this reads for you, whatever you consider home, right? Really try to step up to the plate, because we need people in positions of power to help create solutions, and it's possible. This is all incredibly possible. Strength of character and willpower is going to be extremely important right now. Entrepreneurship is going to be really front and center as well. So we have, in our distant past, right? Distant influences, or the foundation, sort of, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks prior to this, a great amount of personal inspiration, personal directive. This is a lot of self-esteem. This is a lot of entrepreneurial, passionate energy. You may have already been involved in this early on in terms of helping and assisting. So this is really beautiful to see. But if you haven't and you've seen other people do it, there's no need to reinvent the wheel here, guys. Just so, see what your heroes are doing. Watch and listen to what your heroes are doing, and then just mimic that, right? That might solve a lot of the problem here when it comes to addressing issues or problems and concerns. Anyway, you don't need to reinvent something. You're going to look at what other people have already done when they stepped up to the plate and just mimic that, mirror that, save some time. And then you can help others, right? Others will look at you and they'll mimic that. And unless you can add something positive here, there's really no need to reinvent the wheel, especially when, referring to something that could feel catastrophic, right? Or could seem like it's out of control. Here with our recent past, right? This is what we're just leaving behind. We have the 9 of Wands, qualified by the Knight of Cups. So there's a lot of beautiful energy coming in. I really feel like, and I feel this, not only just with your reading, but I am feeling this with just what I'm seeing in, say, public discourse right now, especially online. Thank goodness we have each other online, if nothing else, right now, because a lot of people are stepping up to the plate emotionally. There's a lot of care and concern. There are a lot of people who are very, very sensitive to the suffering of others, and they're really stepping it up. In fact, they're going above and beyond. This could even be the nursing and medical community at this time, guys. Like I said, we do have major establishments up here, of a clinical nature, and they're really in the hot seat. They need a lot of help, and they're really stepping up. So if we can help them, we should do that. But there's a lot of heart here in our recent past. People with a lot of heart, trying to do the right thing, very sensitive to their environments, are working overtime right now. So, thanks. Thanks to everyone in the medical community right now for stepping up, and thanks to everyone who are supporting them. In our near future, guys, so there's a new influence or something to discover, new information or a clarity of something concerning the past. Okay, and this is interesting to see these two together. These two elements are technically not compatible, technically. Now, anything can work together if we try, and certainly if we find a way and a means, okay, right? Like down here, if there's a way and a means, anything can work. So, clarity, a sense of victory, acknowledgement, new source of information, new data, concerning how you feel about the past. This is nostalgia, this is sentimentality. But like I said, these are a little bit in opposition. So, we're going to stay in the present And even though if we have to reflect on the past or we have to reach out to loved ones from our youth, from our childhood at this time, you know, it might be a nice time to do that. Family is extremely important here for us as well, as we know. So, you know, we could even just be remembering the recent past very, very strongly and fondly right now as well. You know, it's not always going to be like this. I really don't think it's always going to be a crisis situation if it is from where you're watching right now. If it isn't a crisis situation in terms of health because of what's going on medically around the world right now, then at least you're aware of what other countries could be going through. If you have information to share, or if you have data or evidence, you know, you might want to do that and share it with people that you grew up with, or they may be sharing it with you. But friends or feelings from the past could be coming to the fore here, and we need to be clear about something with regarding that. I'm going to suggest here as well, if you have some friends who were going to visit, or you had a reunion or something like that, you know, hold off on that just for the time being. You can always teleconference or video conference at this time. I would really get creative here, guys. We have the Two of Wands qualified with the Three of Wands. This is really beautiful because this is how you feel about the situation. You're going to be creative about the next step, right? We're going to start small. We're going to be creative about how to approach real world events, how we act, how we behave, what we do. And, you know, she's actually looking directly at him. He's looking directly out into the future. Threes are our creative potential. Two is a decision. So, you know, let's get creative about what we're about to do next. Very likely this has to do, if not completely, certainly somewhat on a grand level, has to do with your work world, okay? So this is how you are, this is how you see yourself. This is how others are looking at you. And this is where we're looking at that sense of suspension or surrender to a work situation, okay? So just things could be canceled. Things could be up in the air right now. We do have 2 threes. We have a lot of creative potential. You can be doing work from home or something from home at this time. You could even just be getting crafty and creative at home if you can't work from home in some way. You could be developing skills at home at this time to be creative, to help others, to impact in a very positive way your own home life, or simply just to keep busy and to stay out of your head. So we have another 4 here. We have our 4 of Pentacles qualifying the Chariot. Chariot really, like I said, is Cancer ruled or 4th house ruled. We're looking at issues concerning, you know, the home, the family, stability. We're looking at foundations, right? Being really cozy, not being able to really move anywhere. This is like, we're kind of stuck. And this is our hopes and fears. This is natural for this time, guys. Don't stress. I don't think it's always going to be like this, but I think it is important to just sort of like pull in the reins a little bit, stay a little bit sturdy, stay steady, stay put at this time. It's probably the best way to go about something. If you did have travel plans, I would just say, you know, try to get your money back or just write it off somehow, guys, because it's just not going to be worth it. And we do have the 10 of Wands, right? 10 of Wands, or qualifying our Empress as the outcome advice. And this is, you know, something feels like it's going to take a long time. Empress is really bounty, it's growth, it's generation, it's fertility, right? This is fertility. This is extremely feminine, power. This is, in many cases, literally giving birth. And it's an uphill battle right now. It's a very big uphill battle right now. So something may need to be suspended, postponed, reinvented, reestablished. Even if you're about to follow through with something, it may feel like an uphill battle. It is very interesting to see that Empress qualified by the 10 of Wands, because we know that that's just an uphill battle, right? It doesn't mean it's bad. It doesn't mean it's not going to work. But it may not get you, at least immediately, what you want from it. It may not have the growth potential that you want at this time, or it may take longer to grow or become, say, valuable or bountiful or even alive for quite some time. There's a little bit of an uphill battle here, guys. I'm recognizing we're dealing with a few 10s. Ten of Pentacles, Ten of Swords, Ten of Wands. This is significant. We're looking at commercial transactions here, guys. So yeah, money, income is going to be affected at this time, everybody. Authorities really do have a lot more power than they may be revealing or may be known at this time. I want to mention that as well, whether or not you are a member of that authority or not. It looks like there is a lot of power potential around matters of authority. Let's get into why. So this is the ultimate purpose. This is a purpose card, everybody. This is the why card. I haven't seen this in quite some time from the Wisdom of the Oracle deck. This is your true purpose. This is, really why am I here? You may be able to step up to the plate. You may have a calling here, guys. It's very, very important. I would suggest here, if you are in a position to help, if you can manifest energy or even income, resources, if you have any power over policy or education at this time, really, use it for the benefit of humanity now. We do have playfulness jumping out. I'm relieved to see this for you because this is not a light reading. Playfulness could really be something that you experience at home. You might even be able to reconnect with loved ones at this time. We have some gorgeous energy here with both the swan and the elk. We have both grace and self-esteem. I'm telling you, if you have been looking for a purpose, waiting for something to prove yourself or something to get out of your own head and help assist others at this time, this is your chance, guys. This is your chance to benefit humanity and do something for the greater good, and release your ex. The time has come to clear your energy. We're going to get out of the head here, guys. There's a big picture situation at hand, and you could very well be the hero this time, guys. So Gemini, that is your April 2020 reading. I hope that you enjoyed it. I love reading for you. If you have a second, comment below. Let me know what you think of it. If you like my content, please like, share, and subscribe. Check out your other readings, and please stay safe and calm, everybody. I'm wishing you all the best. I hope to see you in the next video. Bye for now.